Hello to whoever is watching this. Let's go ahead and get started. So open up to a fresh 2 new blank pages. Your notes on this one should only take up about half of the left page, but at the top what I want you to do is write lesson 22. Write the date. Now I didn't put the date up here because I don't know when exactly you'll be watching this, so I wanted to leave it open. And then what we're talking about today is division. So in the top right of the page, write division. You can also go ahead and draw lines straight down about a third the way on the left side of the page. You're just going to write excess remainders. While you're doing that, the word excess means extra. Basically, it's just another way of saying extra. Excess remainders. That's going to be what we talk about today. What happens when we divide and we wind up having a little bit too much of a remainder? We're going to talk about that today, and that's going to be part of our learning target. So again, if you need to copy down, I want your page on the left to look exactly like what I have right here. You probably don't need to take up the entire page, probably just about half. And I'm going to go ahead and put the learning target, which is right here on here for you to copy down as well. And this is what it is right here. I am able to continue dividing when I get a remainder that is larger than my divisor. Write that down, and underneath what I want you to do is write 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's there to remind you of whether or not you are a 1, a 2, or a 3, or a 4. Now again, remember, a 1 is I have absolutely no idea how to do this lesson. 2 is I kind of get it, but I'm still a little unclear. 3 is I totally get it. 4 is I can teach others. So if you feel like you are a 2, you need a little bit more practice. If not, you're ready to move on. But let's go ahead and start watching the rest of the video here and getting some practice with dividing with excess remainders. Alright guys, this is our first problem, 94 divided by 3. So what we're going to do first, of course, just like always, is we're going to go ahead and write out estimate, solve, and check. Because we're going to go ahead and work on this. So first thing we're going to do is we can just keep our divisor at 3. Because it's already only one digit, we're just going to leave it at 3. Okay, and we're going to round 94 to 90. That'll be a nice big round number. Sorry, I've got a new stylus here I'm working on. It's a little finicky. But 90 divided by 3. Well, another way I can write that is 9 tens divided by 3. And if I do that, I'll just get 3 tens, which is the same thing as 30. That's a very easy way to divide. It's just just writing it out a little bit different ways. 9 tens divided by 3 is just 3 tens, which we can write again as 30. So let's use that like we did the other day. We're going to use that estimate to help us figure out how many groups of 3 are in 30. So let's figure this out. Excuse me, how many groups of 3 are in 94? So let's go ahead and set this up. So we have 3 and 94. We have 94 divided by 3. That's our problem. So next thing we need to do is multiply 3 times 30. And that should give us a number. 3 times 30, well, it's going to be 0. Or 3 times 0 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Done. We have 3 times 30 is 9. So we can go ahead and write 30 up here, and we'll take away 90. Oh, well, hold on. Interesting problem that we have here. We've got this problem, and does anyone know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's that our remainder is larger than our divisor, which means we can get another group of 3 out of 4, obviously, because 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to erase this 0, or actually we can just write over it. I don't know if it'll let me erase it now. No, it won't. But what we need to do is just go ahead and erase this. This is going to be a 1 because we can pull another group of 3 out. We'll have 1 left. So our actual answer is 31 with a remainder of 4, or excuse me, with a remainder of 1. That should be our answer. But we're not just going to leave it there. We're going to go ahead and check. So let's check this out. Okay, so we take our divisor of 3 times our quotient of 31 plus our remainder of 1, and that should equal our dividend. So 3 times 31, see, 3 groups of 30 is 90, 3 groups of 1 is 3, so that's 93, plus 1 equals 94, so D equals 94, and that is the same thing as our dividend up here, same thing right here, so we know that our answer of 31 with a remainder of 1 is the correct answer. So right here, the whole reason we did this, I want you to pay really close attention to this part right here. This is the reason we did this problem, is this estimating part. And that's going to become really important here in just a second when we try the next problem. All right, here we go again. Let's go ahead and write out ESC. All right, we're about ready here. So let's go ahead and start rounding. So 17 is going to round to 20. 590, let's go ahead and round up. I'm thinking again, I'm counting out multiples, and I know that I will never be able to count on a multiple of 20 and hit 90, but I will be able to count out 600. So let's write out 600 right here. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert this again, just like I did in the last problem. I want you to try converting this into an easier number. So like, you know how in the last problem what we did is we said 90 becomes 9 tens. Think about if you can convert that 600, just write it a little bit different way. I'll wait for you. Pause and try that. Well, if you happen to get 60 tens divided by 20, that's kind of what I was going for, because 60 tens divided by 20 is just 3 tens, which again is 30. So we're going to use that estimate to help us. So let's go ahead and set up our division problem. So we have 590 divided by 17, because again, you need to make sure you're using the actual numbers, not your estimated numbers here, because we're being precise. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just separate this so we don't get our numbers confused here. I'm going to use my estimate, like we did the other day, to help me figure out how many groups of 17 will go into 590. So what I have here is 30 times 17, because we have 30 groups of 17 we know should go in there just fine. So the first one is going to be 0 times 7 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0, so we'll go straight to the next one. 3 times 7 is 21. We'll regroup that group of tens. 3 times 1 is 30. Excuse me, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So we should just have 510. Now, here's the thing. We said we had 30 groups there. Now look at how big our remainder is. 590 minus 510 is 80. Now can we get more groups of 17 out of 80? You bet we absolutely can, because 80 is pretty big. Now exactly how many groups, I don't know. I'm going to try multiplying by like 4. I'm just going to take a guess just because I have some experience with this sort of stuff. I'm going to guess and see if I can get another 4 groups out of it. Now, how did I get 4, you ask? I'm just guessing. I know 17 is almost 20, and I know 4 groups of 20 would be 80, so that's why I'm guessing 4. But we'll see how it works out. So let's see. 8, 4 times 1, excuse me, we need to regroup the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 68. Now that's pretty close there, and I don't think I'll be able to get another group out of here. So I'm going to regroup this to a 7. This is going to become a 10. So that should be 2, this is 7, 1. So I have 12 left now. I can't get another group of 17 out of 12. Now here, let's see how many groups of 17 have I taken away altogether. I've taken away 4 groups, and I've taken away 30 groups. So 30 plus 4 is 34. And my remainder is 12. Now, we did a little bit of math here, and because we have all this stuff over here and all this stuff over here, and this is the first time we've done this, again, we want to check and make sure we haven't put the wrong numbers together. So let's make sure really quickly here by adding together, or multiplying our divisor times our quotient and adding back our remainder. We want to be precise. So let's check 17 times 34 plus 12. And that should equal D. Now I'm going to have to scroll down or zoom out just a little bit here so I can have a little bit more room. So I'm going to just shrink this a little bit, because I'm not going to just use the numbers I had before. I actually want to solve this. So we have 17 times 34. 7 times 4 is 28. We'll regroup that too. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. 1 times, excuse me, we need to put our placeholder. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3, and we'll add these up. Again, I have to zoom out one more time here and just scoot those away. Math is hard work, 0 plus 8 is 8, 3 plus 4 is 7, 2 plus 3 is 5. Oh, okay, so we have 578 plus 12 equals, that's right, 590. So it turns out we did our math correctly after all. So that was a little bit more difficult, wasn't it? 590 right there. But I think you guys are getting the idea. So we're going to practice this a little bit more here. So we found that our answer was in fact 34 with a remainder of 12 for this problem. Okay, so take your notes. This is going to be about the end of this lesson here, but we're going to come back and we're going to check on our learning target. We may be able to try one more problem. Alright guys, I checked the time and we do indeed have time for one more problem. So go ahead and write this again on the right side of your page. If you're keeping track, this is problem number 3. Alright, estimate, solve, check. First off, let's estimate. We're going to round 27 up to 30. We are going to round 887 up to 900. I know I can skip count that out. And we're going to rewrite this not as 900 divided by 30 because that's a little bit difficult. We're going to rewrite this as 90 tens, and we're going to divide that. Oh gosh, what am I doing? It's wasting time. 90 tens divided by 30, and we'll get 3 tens. Wow, this is the third time. Again, we got 3 tens, so again, our estimate is 30. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. Sometimes math is just magical like this. Alright, so let's go ahead and work on solving it again. If you're working along with this, which I know you are, pause, try and solve this yourself before you check the solution. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and write 887 divided by 27. Now I can go ahead and start checking. I know I should be able to get 30 groups of 27, so let's go ahead and check that out. So we have 30 groups of 27. 0 times 7, 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 3 times 7 is 21. 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So, answer here is 810. 810, and I'm already seeing a problem because I know this is much less. So let's go ahead and take away 810. Oops, I just did the wrong thing. 810. So we'll take away 810. Let's see how much we have left. 7 minus 0 is 7. 8 minus 1 is 7. 8 minus 8 is 0. Can we pull another 27 out of 77? You bet we can. Now here's my guess. I know that 27 is a little bit more than 25, and I know that 77 is pretty close to 75, and I know that 27 will go into 75 3 times. I'm pretty sure it won't work here because our divisor is a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do is multiply 27 times 2 and see what that comes up to be. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Excuse me. So 54 is our answer there. So let's take away 54. Should be 3 and 2. Now I can't get another group of 27 out of 23, so we know for a fact that that's going to be our remainder. Now, how many groups of 27 did we pull out altogether? Well, here I've got 2, and here I've got 30. So 30 plus 2 is 32, with a remainder of 23. Now again, last time here, we need to go ahead and check our work. So, again, I've got kind of big division here. What I need to do is zoom out. We will see very quickly. I went ahead and wrote this out really quickly here for the interest of time. I'm going to go ahead and write out my algorithm as well and solve it. Here's the algorithm. Here's the solution to that, 864. Plus 23 is going to be, plus 23 is going to be 887. So our answer was correct. The final answer of 32 with a remainder of 23 is correct. Okay guys, the last thing we're going to do here is reflect on the lesson. So one thing we need to do is write our notes for excess remainders, which I'm going to put up on the screen here right now. It's just if the remainder is larger than your divisor, then keep devising. The very last thing you need to do after copying that down is tell me, are you a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, and why? That's the end of the video, guys.